What's up, guys? Welcome to Foodie, and I'm going to go over what Foodie is and how the Foodie token plays a part, right? So we just open up foodie.bz. So you see here, this is Foodie, the friendly ghost. So welcome to Foodie, all right? Foodie is aiming to be the first restaurant brand born purely out of Web3. And as part of that, we will always remember we are part of Web3. So we're building a very scalable business model, low cost, that you can regenerate in various places that you'll see throughout this. And as part of that, we're going to be taking a token along with us. But long story short, high-end summary here. It's going to be ghost kitchens, food delivery, major cities, around colleges, and on every single package, we're going to be shilling the Foodie token, trying to turn everyone into a Foodie holder and Solana native. So the opportunity ahead for market growth, you see here, we have some stats on the growth of ghost kitchens, which is what we're going to be starting as. It's around 57 billion currently, and you see it is double-digit growth, projected to reach 115 billion by 2030. And we think focusing on operations as well as integrations with what we're calling DeFi and food, will really set us apart. And specifically with the token is the brand loyalty we're able to get. We cultivate this Web3 community to start. We grow it through our deliveries and the incentives that we're able to offer by having a token as part of our business. And we all grow from there. So community milestones. At $8 million in volume is when we're going to begin the operations for the first restaurant. Why is this? So on Believe.app, which is a great platform, you earn a small percentage. So instead of us going and selling a token, which I think we could go sell 80 grand of a token, what we're going to do is we're going to put it out there, let you all decide what is the value of this thing, how much do you want to trade it, is it fun? And if it is, if we hit that 8 million goal, then we will have made enough in fees on that to open our first location. And there you see for the expansion vision, every 8 million following that, we'll be able to open a new location, right? Because that cost is matched. And that doesn't count any sort of revenues or lending we're able to get from the business as well once we have assets that the business owns. And you see tokenomics in our community. All right, so the role of the token, we just rolled out some stuff here. This is not all inclusive of what the future could hold. We're going to look towards the community for sure and building out a lot of this stuff, right? So you see there's discounts based on holding size. There's a secret meme menu only for holders, early access to new locations, voting on new locations, and like token package branding, because it's going to be very big for us. Obviously, Foodie the Friendly Ghost will be on the packaging. We love him. There'd be various like clout unlocks. So this is to be determined on how it'd be measured, but like if you're like the ultimate chat in the community, maybe you even get like a menu item named after you. Just legend stuff. Let me see. Preference in hiring as well, right? So if you're a foodie and we're expanding as a business, obviously community would be a huge part of that. And you're in a city where we're expanding to, great, man. You apply. If you're a holder, you'll get first steps for it. Access to in-person meetups and integration into payment systems, which will come with later verticals, to be honest, because of how ghost kitchens work up front. But we can get into that later. Parallel growth is what we're calling this, right? So as we grow as a restaurant, right? This is what I was talking about with the deliveries. Every city we go to, there'll be hopefully hundreds of deliveries every single day, right? So we have dozens of them doing hundreds of deliveries every single day. And they're all across the country, and these are focused around college towns as well, as you'll see in our go-to-market. You're going to be able to basically shill the token to a lot of people. You'll package it up as well. Maybe you do a small airdrop, you just give them a few tokens. Maybe you say like, hey, if you're looking for future discounts, lock in here, and it's a way for them to own the token. If they're not Web3 native, you can just do a QR code and try to onboard them, but eventually move to like chain abstraction, where they're able to purchase the token just like they're buying a discount thing. But those two rise together basically. So as the restaurant scales, right, it'll be more and more valuable as a business. And hopefully our holders are scaling along with that because there's more excitement about this, more for us to post, right? There's more for us to shill out. Right? We can send this packaging, we can redo the packaging. What is working? What's not working? How can we get like Foodie into the hands of more people? Right? Not just our deliveries, not just the food. We want their bellies full, with their wallets full as well, right? With their wallets full, boys. And then the share drop. So share drop is going to be a way for us to, pardon me, for us to share equity in the actual company. This is private pre-IPO equity. The parameters on this are TBD, obviously. Let's get through the first 8 million in volume first before we worry about this. But it is something that's going to be very unique to us and will be offered out there for people. This, of course, can't be guaranteed by buying the token. That's a legal thing as well. We're not saying you get it by buying the token, anything like that. This is something that you can legally do, and it's a completely separate thing, but it will be awesome. These are our promises to the community. That's you guys, anyone who's buying this, right? We will remain active. All right, we will fight this to the bitter end. We're going to push for every bit of volume we can till we hit that goal, and then we're going to keep pushing for more as we're opening the business. Okay, it doesn't stop when we just open the first business. Like, oh look, we got everything funded. No, we're going to keep pushing. We're going to fight to integrate it and fight to grow the business, as you see here in our promises. We'll do all that we can to drive margins and grow the restaurant to a national brand. We'll be creative in implementing D-Food, which is DeFi and food, as we covered, which basically means integrating the token into stuff, creating cool shit. We will build live, showing updates as we go. That means like when we're opening the first kitchen, right? You see as we're doing some little construction around the kitchen, whatever it is, we'll share that with you, right? As we're shipping out our first orders, that goes to our loyal holders, that content, and we'll share in depth, right? Because it is a private company. We'll share in depth like revenue growth, our successes, and our failures. We want to share in that with whatever community we've been able to build here. And a very simple go-to-market strategy is about creating, a low-cost, high-speed, quality food, right? And we want to create something that's like quality macro profile that's ensuring like a delicious and healthy option. Basically, we don't want to be health nuts, right? But we don't want to serve people trash, right? So we're trying to find the middle ground on that with a good, solid price point. And that menu is going to be rolled out later. Got to keep content for later as well. And we'll also be testing menus post-launch. And a university focus. This also plays into this as well. We want to build around universities, right? So this helps to scale our brand around a consistent consumer base. This demographic is also more likely to accept like the token and its utilities up front without any chain abstraction. Obviously, it's still a small portion, not a small portion anymore. Maybe when I got into it, it's a good portion, but there's still a lot to be reached. Let's put it that way, into onboarding them. But so many holders to be had for the Foodie token, and then incredible equity plans. Dutch Bros does this amazing thing, which is a coffee shop started in the Northwest, where they hire people in to these little roadside coffee shops, and those people become franchisees eventually, right? People grow out and they start their own Dutch Bros, and it helps grow the brand, it helps grow the business, and it creates people who've been in the trenches with that business, growing it out. We're not jumping right into franchising, anything like that by any means whatsoever. That's years down the line. We do want to cultivate excellent talent, loyal talent, right? And part of that is going to be like very attractive equity plans, and focusing on people who show entrepreneurial skills or leaning towards those, and people who would be willing to help us branch out, right? Because you can only be so many places at once. You're going to need to grow people out to help grow that brand that you can trust to do it. And our roadmap to success, right? So you got our early days, which is where we're going to be at now. Launch a token, build a community, hit 8 million volume goal, and formalize the branding and our go-to-market, right? You have phase one, which is the launch of our first business. Yay. We'll have the initial launch and establishment of the Foodie brand and the core operations, okay? And then there's the perfect the business, not perfect business, it's perfect the business. and cultivate talent. Right, so we're going to have to refine the operational models, optimize the processes, and build a strong, talented team. Right, so you don't want to just go out there and be like, hey, I mean, I'm serving this food, people are going to buy it, it's great. All right, you need to be making data-driven decisions about everything you put out, about your order flows, about how often people are purchasing certain items, what are they purchasing it with, and there's tools out there for that. But that's going to be a core tenet of this business on the Web 2 side to ensure that it's actually growing and bringing in profits. Integrate DFood. So this is more where we start bringing in token functionalities into it, right? All the ones that we're able to at this early stage. And then scale to new locations. All right, so we want to start replicating that model in other cities. The speed at which we're able to do that will depend on how well we cultivate talent, how well the business does, and how quickly, how well the token's doing itself. A few different factors, but scaling new locations is what we're doing. And then beyond, a national brand and new verticals, right? So we want this to be around every, big city, a college, anywhere where there's traffic that can justify the business model. And we want everyone holding a token, right? Every one of our customers, we hope that they become a foodie. We're going to do everything we can to make them a foodie for life. That's the goal, right? Through any kind of incentives, hook or crook, whatever we got to do. That is the goal, right? And explore new verticals as well, right? We're starting with these ghost kitchens because it's a low cost, easy replicatable model. But that doesn't mean in the future you can't open brick and mortars, right? Or you can't go into like ready-made meals or meal prep, things like that. There's a ton you can do once you've built that brand and that loyalty. And that's what we're hoping to build with you guys, is not only just like a single, ghost kitchen running out of the back of someone else's kitchen in one college town. Like, that's cool that we did that together as a community. But what we really want to do is open a brand, like national, an amazing business, a very successful business that's run alongside this amazing community that we come out of, that we've grown over time, and everyone loves the product, right? They love the food. That's the end goal, man. We're really pumped about it. We really are going to do everything we can to get that first $8 million goal, and then really break into the Web 2 side of this thing, and then grow it alongside each other. So I thank you guys if you got to the end of this. If you guys have become foodies, hold strong, everybody. Do what you can to push the volume. And I'll see you in the community.